America. Nick Garone, Jason Bryan here with you again. And Nick, as we said in the open, this is turning into a Missouri dual meet right now, and they were 10-0 in dual meets this year.
It really is. I mean, when you talk about dominance in a conference, Missouri is that team. They've done it. They've rattled off 8 straight victories in the conference championships, and they've won. So they are the gorilla in this conference.
Well, we're going to center on right now the team that has the most championships in Mid-American Conference history. That is Central Michigan, and top-seeded Drew Hildebrandt, ranked number 2 in the most recent coaches poll released by the NCAA just a couple days ago. He's taking on Riders' Jonathan Tropea. He's the number 4 seed. Hildebrandt came in with the opening round bye and then picked up a major decision to reach these semifinals. Tropea also had a bye and then knocked off Josh Jones of George Mason 6-2 in his quarterfinal bout. Hildebrandt, name very, very familiar with wrestling fans.
Bring it up.
Yeah, his older sister, Sarah, member of multiple world teams for Team USA, including a world silver medal back a couple years ago. Pretty sure that was in the Paris World Championships 2018, if I'm not mistaken. Well, 17 was Paris, 18 was Budapest, 19 was Nur Sultan. There we go. Getting our years situated. Right now, just under a minute in, Hildebrandt lanky. Tropea is a very feisty type of wrestler where he will definitely pull matches out late. He has been in some really, really great flurries throughout his career, late in bouts, and he's a guy, if there's still time on the clock late in the match, he is never out of it, Nick.
Not at all. Tropea actually got a solid win over Jones from George Mason University in the quarterfinals at 6-2. And he is a solid guy. Hildebrandt's going to have to wrestle. He's going to have to do his best. He's going to be very sharp. He has to be very sharp and focused when he's wrestling Tropea.
Both wrestlers seem to be content with working from space here. Hildebrandt, you can just see the length on him. Heavy snap there. Just past the halfway point here in period number 1. Of course, one of those subtle differences between high school wrestling and collegiate wrestling, Nick, the 3-minute first period. And you've done a lot of high school coaching over the years. And when you see wrestlers step up to this level, what do you think that big adjustment is with that 3-minute first period?
It really, people on the outside don't realize how incredible that 1 minute, added that 1 minute to the first period is. It is a big transition. Even for really solid wrestlers and good wrestlers at the high school level, it takes a little bit of time to get used to going 3 minutes in a period. So it is an adjustment, and, the good ones make that adjustment. Nice shot, nice straight single by Hildebrandt. Tropea defending this beautifully, right on the edge. Let's see if he can pull this out. Oh, nice defense by Tropea. That was a beautiful straight single by Hildebrandt.
Yeah, tough way to not finish. And again, curious to see if he was going to let him bail out there. Maybe, when your action goes out of bounds, you got either an action call or you're going to get a stall either way. That didn't happen as Hildebrandt stayed inside the circle. Tropea circled back in, so stall call was not an issue as Tropea bailed out, but still came back inbounds and continued the action here. As the first period comes to a close, scoreless, and here comes the toss. Hildebrandt's going to have the choice. Looks over to his corner, says, I'm going to go down.
It's the right move. If this thing goes late and it goes into an OT situation, you want to score that first point. You want that coin toss.
Hildebrandt ranked number 2 in the country. First team All-American last year. Of course, big lift and return off the whistle for Tropea. The NWCA announced the All-Americans. Now, typically, Nick, that goes to the top 8 placers at the NCAA Championship. Well, last year there was no NCAA Championships, as we well know. Hildebrandt was a top 8 seed, and in lieu of saying, okay, well, no All-Americans, the Coaches Association, they hold the coaches says, yeah, we're naming All-Americans, and top 8 seeds were first team. The next 4 were second team, and they also did some honorable mentions. So they are counted in the history books as your respective programs as All-Americans. There may not be a placement by their name, but Drew Hildebrandt, for all intents and purposes, is a returning All-American at the Division I level.
And listen, Hildebrandt was a junior last year. He was beating some of the top guys during the year. He's not a guy that was just thrown in there where anybody could really say anything. He deserved it, and it wasn't the wrestlers' fault, Jason, what happened last year. So why not honor them? You know, they needed a little bit of that. Was actually when that happened, and they decided to do that. I was very pleased because it gave them the accolades that they deserved without a tournament.
Hildebrandt standing up off the whistle, tried to peel the wrist, turns, faces 1 point escape, so the first point of the bout will go to Drew Hildebrandt, 1-0 lead. Riding time, not on your screen, however, we'll tell you it's at 40 seconds in favor of Tropea. So essentially not a factor at this moment. When it does become a factor, be sure to let you know what's going on here.
Tropea wrestling very tough on his feet. I mean, he's hand fighting. He's staying in good position against Hildebrandt. And actually, Hildebrandt was in a dogfight in the quarterfinals against Doherty. You know, it was 0-0 with 10 seconds left in the first period. So on his feet, but he is a hammer on top.
.40 to go here in period number 2. 1-0 lead for the top seed, Drew Hildebrandt for the Chippewas of Central Michigan. As we mentioned in the open.
Nice shot. Beautiful, beautiful swing single. Can he finish on Tropea? Tropea defends once again and gets away unscathed.
Action goes out of bounds. Off your screen there, the official doing the action call, so no stall there. We come back to the neutral position, under 30 to go, period 1. Give you a heads up what's going on the semifinal over on mat 3. Noah Certain, who came in not even as the pre-registered seed. Connor Brown was the guy in the rankings. Certain with a 7-0 lead over the number 2 seed, Jake Ferry, over on mat number 3. So give you an update on what's going on with our 2 semifinal bouts here in the middle. Great facility for wrestling already, Nick. Definitely, you know, Riders, a school that's always cared about wrestling. They got the chance to host the MAC championships, and they are doing a first-class job at doing so.
And, you know, usually the Cure Arena is actually the host to the New Jersey USA Wrestling, Freestyle, and Greco States every year. It's such a great facility. I was here last year before the pandemic. We were here in 2019, and it was an incredible host. The Cure Arena does a great job.
Yeah, right before we got finished there, Tropea finished the takedown. He is actually now leading 2-1 as we head to the third period. He goes neutral. He doesn't want any part of Drew Hildebrandt on top.
No, I mean, listen, that's good strategy. You know, you don't want to give up riding time. You know, now it's 2-2, you know, and you're going into overtime against a very, very good Hildebrandt.
So riding time, still not a factor, just at 44 seconds. We get a 2-1 lead for the number 4 seed, Jonathan Tropea. We mentioned, if you're watching this and coming across and looking at Rider, Mid-American Conference, the Mid-American Conference absorbed what used to be the Eastern Wrestling League, which was the 4 PSAC schools that wrestled Division I wrestling, George Mason, Rider, and Cleveland State, creating a 14-team wrestling conference. It was 15 last year before our alma mater dropped wrestling. And now it's still a very solid conference. You got the MAC East, the MAC West, action out of bounds. No scoring here.
It's a nice little scramble there, Jason, just before they went out.
So we've got basically the EWL is essentially the MAC East, and the existing MAC, with the exception of SIU Edwardsville, which was an affiliate member of the Southern Conference prior to their history in the MAC. So that's how the MAC is set up. Of course, we've got several legacy programs.
Nice little cross single. Can he double? And he might finish right here on Hildebrandt. Hildebrandt's going for that Merkel. Oh, can he get in that position if he gets...
Oh, and
you know what? That actually was very close. That could have been out of bounds right there. And you know what? I mean, Hildebrandt got that takedown. They gave him the 2, but they looked like they were out.
And now John Hange and Nick Bedleon, coaches there for Ryder, are going to throw the challenge brick. In tournaments, if you've got more than, well, they got 10 wrestlers in the tournament. Every team does, so they'll have 3 challenges throughout the course of the weekend. So Hange is going to throw the brick, and they will go to a video review.
Listen, I think it's a great review. Now watch it right here on replay. You know, they're both in a neutral position right here. He comes around. Right now he's got a whizzer. He's got an overhook. Now they're both out right here when he calls the 2. And they're actually off the mat completely. Yeah, I think that's a good...
The perspective here is they may have had still, like, you know, just a fingernail has to be in the cylinder there, but their feet went off the mat surface. So the question is, are they going to give the 2 when he throws the leg in there? with the Merkle, the side headlock. Tropea was so close to scoring on the attack to begin with. So
Yes.
good flurry there on the edge. So
Listen, I thought it was a great challenge. These officials, these referees are great. They're going to make the right call here.
Noah Certain was your winner 7-0. So Missouri with the first finalist. Certain came in technically as the number 6 seed. So Mizzou, again an affiliate of the Mid-American Conference, have been, since they left the Big 12 to join the SEC for all sports, the Big 12 yet didn't take affiliate members in the Mid-American Conference at the time, took Northern Iowa, Missouri, and Old Dominion as affiliates, and then that has just basically set the table for this large conference.
Now think about Sertan, Noah Sertan. He wasn't even in the lineup, okay? He wasn't even in Missouri's lineup. Upsets number 3, now he's in the MAC finals. I mean, just an amazing tournament for Noah Sertan.
And there you see, we talked about those legacy programs in the Mid-American Conference, and Central Michigan with 16 titles. Ohio U with Coach Joel Greenlee has 15. Great wrestling tradition there. Harry Huska, their former coach, won a lot of titles. He is a hoot, by the way. Just get Coach Greenlee to tell you some Harry Huska stories, and you'll be there laughing for hours. Kent State with a solid tradition going way back in the day, back when the MAC started in the 50s with 10 titles. And we'll see what the count is. It looks like the call on the mat. We'll wait because the referees have to go back. If there's a change, they will have to reset the clock to the time and whatnot.
Well, it looks that way.
Well, based on nonverbal communication skills, that looks like
call's going to stand.
Call's going to stand. So Ryder loses the challenge. So Hildebrandt 3-2 with the lead with that takedown on the edge. Quick sit out by Tropea, and then now this is where we see Drew Hildebrandt quickly wanting to impose his will, so to speak, in the top position.
He gets those legs in on Tropea. Tropea needs to basically get those knees together and come out of this. And if he doesn't get a quick stalemate right here, he's in trouble. Right now, he's got 30 seconds. It's not in risk of losing his riding time, but he needs to get out to tie this thing up to bring it into OT.
Legs is such a tough position to defend when you're not used to it. So the key there, knees together, because I never figured out how to get out of legs. How about you?
You know what? I got really, really good at not letting people get him in. It was always difficult. Once they got him in and you had a good leg rider, like it's Terry Steiner, it was brutal. It was tough to get out on that.
Well, that takedown on the edge that was questioned is going to stand, and that's how the match is going to end. So Drew Hildebrandt becomes the first Central Michigan wrestler to reach the finals, 3-2 over a gritty Jonathan Tropea, a rider. So it'll be Central Michigan and Mizzou in the finals at 125.